he's feeling a bit poorly, isn't he, Paul?
He's either ill or he's enjoying himself in the sun, having a beer.
It's beer garden weather. I was out for lunch in a beer garden this afternoon, and it's glorious.
It was nice. So, and what did he say to you? That he never gets ill?
He never gets ill. He said it in the chat. He never gets ill.
So,
he does because he's ill. Is it COVID related?
No, I asked that. I said, well, we don't know. It's not the injection. Let's put it that way. So he had that a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, so if anyone's walking around and sees John, let us know.
yeah. Please send your postcards in with the spotting of JP. But we're going to carry on regardless, Paul, aren't we? Because we've always looked at this opportunity, because he always leaves us early, doesn't he? He always leaves us early when we're having a chat. He just goes bang and he vanishes. So this time around, he hasn't turned up. So
make sure you don't leave.
Yeah. You give me an idea now. So, all right, what are we going to talk about? I believe there is something that I keep seeing popping up to do with Facebook about privacy, and I know that you're all over it. Is that how
just give yeah, no, I think it's a good one to start with, because I've had loads and loads of agents contact me about this, and mainly because a lot of them are seeing problems with their Facebook accounts. So at the moment, loads of Facebook ad accounts are being closed down. So people are trying to do adverts, people trying to boost, and they're seeing that they can't boost or they can't get into Ads Manager. This is all down to Facebook going through some big changes, and this is all to do with Apple and iOS 14. So in a short version, because you can talk forever on this, is that Apple has decided that it's going to protect users' data and privacy a lot more. So if someone visits a website, this is just an example, there's loads of other examples, if someone visits a website on an Apple device, then they'll get a message which will ask them if you're happy to share your information with the website you're visiting.
I've had it with my bank app. It's come up. Do you want an app to track your whatever it is? And I think most people will say no, won't they? Automatically, I don't want people tracking me. I don't like the idea of it.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? Is that most people will probably say no, but you then do perhaps have a different experience on Facebook later on. So you could end up, for example, seeing adverts for Tottenham Football Club, for example, which I know you wouldn't want to see in your newsfeed. Yeah,
it's so interesting you said that about the football, though, because I put a positive post about N'Golo Kante, the Chelsea midfielder, just saying what a nice guy and all that. And then I noticed in my feed, I was getting lots of Chelsea fans, Chelsea fan pages and stuff like this. So yeah.
You got to bear in mind that there will be some changes, with regards to the adverts you see. But the one thing that I just want everyone to be clear of is that in the Facebook world itself, which is called first party data, Facebook still has all that data. So you think as soon as you hit that Facebook app and you go into it, anything you do, Facebook has control of that, and it will be looking at what you do, and they have got 50,000 data points on each of us. So I think they're still going to be the best platform for advertising. It's just outside of Facebook, you're a little bit more restricted to what Facebook will be able to do going forward. But there's definitely a few things, if agents want to continue to hit that boost button or go into Ads Manager, they really do need to do a few things to make sure they don't see problems come up going forward. So one of the things Facebook's asking for is that every account is now opening up a business manager account, which is just another version of Ads Manager. I'm not going to go into depth what it does. And also they do something called domain verification. All sounds really confusing stuff, but it's a couple of stages that you have to go through to keep Facebook happy, give them a bit more information, and then you should be okay. So there are things there that agents need to do if they don't want to see problems crop up with their ads.
Cool. And how, because I know you were speaking about this a few months ago, how long ago has it been on the radar because it was going to happen, because Apple made a big play out, didn't they? It was almost like our strength is going to be security, and our competitors, Google, Facebook, one of their weaknesses, their lack of security around your data.
Yeah, it's been going for quite a while. I think what came as a surprise was that Apple never really confirmed the date, and then all of a sudden they said it's going to happen very soon, and they did confirm the date. So Facebook being such a big platform, it takes a long time for them to sort things out. So when Apple said it's going to be just around the corner, they really didn't have enough time to sort things out, all the machine learning, all the algorithm, all the accounts. So that's where all the problems have occurred. So a lot of people are seeing their accounts shut down, their personal accounts shut down, and a lot of this is because Facebook's relying on machine learning. So it's allowing machine to make the decisions, and at the moment they're getting most of them wrong. So that's why it's so important to to follow the rules and get things into place so that you don't get your account shut down later on.
When you say shut down, do you mean shut down and that's it, shut down for good? Or is it like then they realise, oh, hold on, we've made a mistake because Mr. Smith has got back to us and has proved he's a human and not a...
Yeah, in most cases I'm talking about ad accounts here, not personal accounts. That does happen though. If you do a lot of things which Facebook thinks are naughty, promoting a lot of things that should be promoted on Facebook, it will shut your account down. Yeah. But we're talking about
for a reason, I'll tell you in a minute.
But we're talking about if you're boosting, you're effectively running ads. Even if you're in that boost button and not going into Ads Manager, and you will get some unusual messages come up which you don't normally get because Facebook wants you to do a few things before you can continue your normal advertising. So when we talk about closing down, we're talking about the ad account, being able to do ads in most cases. When they close them down, it should be as simple as them saying, you getting in touch and them saying, oh, we've made a mistake. But in most cases, it can be 5, 6, 7 weeks before you even get anywhere. So it's not a nice process, no.
Wow. The reason why I was laughing about you saying about, I've only ever got into trouble once with Facebook. It's quite recently. It's about 3 weeks ago. And it was involving Simon Whale had posted something. And I can't think what it was, but my reply was, when I see you, I'm going to beat you like a piñata. Yeah. And Facebook said, this is banned because, like threats of violence and all this. Yeah. Thought, wow.
Machine learning. Yeah, machine learning. Yeah, the biggest ones are threats, politics, the Bitcoin, I think, is a big one at the moment. I don't think it likes that. And I'm trying to think what the other things are. But yeah, if you're pointing anything out which is a negative attribute or a threat or anything to do with politics, they're the things that get picked up by the machine learning.
I sort of noticed that with the members of our content club, a few of them who have done good local posts, Alan Batt in particular, done a really good local post about I think it was Heinz factory coming back to Wigan and opening up and be loads of jobs. And I don't know, it just seemed to score a lot higher than it normally does. It always does well, community content. Yeah. But it's almost like that tying into that thing that you said a couple of weeks back where Facebook are looking for more optimistic, positive content like that. It's being uplifting rather than divisive and making us all hate each other.
Yeah, it's you've got to think why people go on Facebook for entertainment and get away from the normal day, having a bad day. You go on Facebook for a bit of entertainment and hopefully, cheer yourself up. So they see it as any content that's uplifting, motivational. People are going to stay on the platform longer, feel good, and anything that's negative, they remove or slap your wrists on that.
Right? Yeah, makes sense. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I sort of mentioned it earlier, is agents can, with their content now, obviously we're living in an era where there's so much information. A lot of it is rubbish. Information. But when it comes to estate agents, I think they're in a position to show their expertise, especially on their websites, through what I sort of coined a phrase as a content knowledge center. So there's part of your website, call it a library, call it a vault, where the customer can go and they'll have a choice of guides. And I'm not just saying it because I do them. There's other people in the industry that do these sort of guides. But these content knowledge centers are where someone can go and think, oh, right, let's think, we're thinking of buying a buy-to-let. So that would be what we're looking at as a guide. If you're an upsizer, all that sort of stuff. So you're really niching down the people into niches, like downsizers, upsizers, people who are selling due to divorce. And it made me think like something, what you always say about driving people from Facebook into the funnel or whatever you want to call it, is if your Facebook ads are, let's say you focus on people that are, I don't know, downsizing in Kent. Yeah. There must be a lot of people on Facebook who are downsizing in Kent. So you capture them, their attention, put them through to your website where they download, or Facebook captures their data. However, you're the expert on that. But I think we're going to see more agents' websites become that sort of thing. Because what else have they got on their websites? Yeah, about us pages. Yeah, meet the teams are always popular. The property page is always popular, and then some of the pages are a bit superfluous and maybe not needed. But I think if they have these content knowledge centers where people can go, and the stuff on those pages very clearly marked what's in it for the reader. So if you are a new landlord, there's something for you. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah.
No, I agree totally. There's one of my clients from Marcel from Rock Chills Estate Agents. He's got a really good knowledge set on his website, and he's done a really good job putting loads of information on there. But I think becoming the Google of your local area, letting people go on your website and find the information that they need. Always leading with value is the best way to get in front of people. And you're right. You're driving traffic from Facebook to your website. You then need to capture those people, turn them into a lead. So you've got their contact details. And the reason we need that is to start conversations, which is vital for any estate agency, but also to nurture them, because I think one of the biggest mistakes we all make in this industry is that we think everyone's ready to go today, when realistically only a small proportion are. So being able to then email them over time, perhaps retarget them on Facebook with adverts, phone calls, provide more value and take them through that know, like and trust. Yeah, really important.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing we were talking about before we came on air, and it was a brilliant thing you said, was I said to you about, I get a certain element of agents always show interest in stuff we're doing, never follow it through. Now, that could be down to us not but converting them, or however you want to call it. But we convert a lot of inquiries, but there's always, and I've noticed it because it's the same people again and again. And like I said to you, I said, I wonder why. And then you said something along the lines of, it could be, words to the effect of, if they went ahead with that, it's more work for them to do. Which we were talking about how we handle that, because now me and you outsource a lot of our sort of admin jobs. So what, you use a VA in South Africa, is it? South African VA?
Yeah, so I've got I've got VAs and a PA. I think probably the best way to describe her. I think they call them PAs rather than VAs, the one from South Africa, because they liaise with my clients and they're literally my left or right hand, whatever you want to call it. The VAs are more sort of the admin tasks. But yeah, I a year ago got the PA on board, and that, I think we were talking about, anything that's a £20 task is handed over to her, and really just to take as much away from me so I can get on with the important stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I think like the VAs are great for, if you've got content that you're coming through from whatever source. I think they are great if they know what they're doing to schedule your content, to get it out there, to keep a track on the engagement as well. And that would only be like a 2-3 hour a week job. So
yeah, the VAs. So in our property business, we've got two it's just all the repetitive stuff, and that does involve putting the blog content onto our website, out by email, onto Facebook. And as long as it's something that you can record a Loom video and show them, this is what I want done every week, and you'll get the content, that they shouldn't go wrong. and we haven't had any problems, and the costs are so low, you know. So, but there are different levels, and I'm not an expert on it, but you know, if you want someone who perhaps can write an email and manage your diary, then that's a different type of person, more of a PA.
Yeah. Just on the subject of Loom, how good is Loom? By the way? I love Loom.
Can I just say so on Loom is that I've turned very lazy. I don't write emails now. I just do Loom.
It's just, I just think it's a better way of interacting. You know, for those that don't know about Loom, it's a video messaging service. And let's say it takes you 10 minutes to write an email. You can jump on Loom, you just click onto the app, you speak to the camera, get across whatever you want to get across, and it takes a minute rather than 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know about you, Paul, but I just see the reaction from people so much better, especially with new inquiries. If I jump on and take the time to go, hi, John, this is what this is about, blah, 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 blah. And it allows you to film the screen as well, so you can show people stuff. I just think it's amazing. It's like £8 a month. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's and to be honest, it's probably better than BombBomb in a way, because BombBomb's more of an email system where you record that video and you send the email out. With Loom, like you say, you can record your screen at the same time, and it just gives you a link, doesn't it? And then that's great. You know, you can put that anywhere in Messenger. I know BombBomb does similar, but I do find Loom is just so quick and cheap, like you said.
Loom is like one of those apps that realizes, let's just do one thing really, really well. And it just allows you to do that video message really well and really simple. Yeah. So I don't know about if there's any whistles or bells to it, but I use it for one thing, which is video, send out a message, video, send out a message. And the great thing is you can see when somebody's opened it. So you kind of know it's letting you know.
Yeah, and there are agents, Jerry, using it really in a really clever way. So what they'll do is that to get over the vendor contact side of things, because you know, trying to get hold of a vendor on a phone is always difficult, and then you're leaving a message or sending an email, and like we said, that takes time. They're doing Loom videos where they're heading to the stats on Rightmove or on their website or on the system. They'll show them comparables of what's on the market, you know, they're competing with, and within on a 5-minute Loom, they've given so much value, and they can move through very quickly. It's brilliant. I think.
I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it to anyone listening. The other thing, because you were full of good ideas today, Paul. Can you tell me about one of your mentors, what they do when they go to a conference or a training session? So I don't know about you, but I'm like, I'll sit there, and now that I've got this as well, can I just show everyone this? It's one of those remarkable notepads, which I don't know how to work really, because I've only just got it. It's a glorified Etch-a-Sketch. Etch-a-Sketch for adults with more money than sense.
It's a basic iPad, an expensive basic iPad.
I paid 500. I think this was about 500 quid for the basic iPad, but there's more to it than that. But I hope there is anyway when I deep dive into it. But like I'm saying to you, when I go to an event, I'll write down so many notes, and then will I ever use them? I don't know. It's like we get taught in journalist school that sometimes the best quote you will remember. You won't have to. Always. You will never have to go back to your notebook after an interview to find out your best quote, because it will stay in your head. That you'll think, oh shit, they said that. That was really interesting, and you'll just know it. But you said something that one of your mentors does, which I think is a great idea. So I don't know if
he said that he goes to hundreds of conferences and training sessions, and all he'll do is he'll write down one thing, and that would be the most important thing that he's learned that day, which if he takes action on would have the biggest effect. And he'll make sure that he goes back, just this one thing written down in his book, and he'll make sure that that's implemented, and it's also implemented as well as it possibly could be. And then he'll go on to his next conference. And he's said that, you know, by doing it that way, he's actually, you know, put things into place, many more things.
Wow. And it makes sense because your focus is on that one. That one thing. I mean, the difficulty I think with there though, Paul, is like you're sitting there during the conference, you think,
is it?
Is this the one? Yeah, is this the one thing, or is the one thing going to come after lunch or something where I'm a bit snoozy and I might miss it?
I think I do think when you go to those, when you used to go to those conferences, I think there's always 2 or 3 things that stand out, and you think the rest of it, you think I knew already, or it's not that important. Those 2 or 3 things, I think you could get one thing, but I can see why it works, because you come away with so many ideas that it's overwhelming, isn't it? And don't know where to start. So just get that one thing done, get something implemented, and take action.
Yeah, because it's almost like it's that book idea by the bloke who done Keller Williams. I think it's actually called The One Thing or One Thing. And he says something about you've always got to think about what one thing is going to have the biggest impact on my health, on my wealth, do you know what I mean? And focus on that one thing. So that's really interesting. I see that Pete Butler made a comment. He's going to try Loom tomorrow. Honestly, Pete, it's blinding. It's so good. And like the stuff you do with the Google ads and all that sort of stuff, where you're showing people stuff, like Paul said, the fact that you can record your screen, have you in the bottom corner, it's great. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think for Pete, it'd be brilliant, because I don't know. I just feel now that with all the tools that are available, you should be showing people more than just a phone call. You know, you should be able to dive onto a computer, show them, exactly what something looks like. So yeah, I think that would be brilliant for Pete on that. Yeah. What about your guides? I've seen a few of your guides popping up. So I was going to have a chat about how agents could use those.
Those guides, just so to fill people in. So they're all around that niche thing I was talking about. It's basically the idea for creating a knowledge center. These guides, or similar, other guides are available, as they say on the BBC, will fill that gap. So we've got selling due to downsizing, selling due to probate, and these are not like 1 or 2 pages. These are 8 pages, properly written, properly proofed, come with a Canva design and that sort of thing. And the idea is just this. And I wrote an article about it. I've got into running now, as you've probably noticed. Yeah, Paul?
Yeah, I'm there.
Are you there? I've got into running now, you probably noticed. And that's where you go, yeah, I was thinking you. Nah, still look fat. So I've got into running, and I went to the Sports Direct, yeah?
Yeah.
I walk into the shop, and obviously Sports Direct, I'm not expecting concierge service, yeah? Hello is not bad if I'm going to spend a few quid there. Blanked look through me like I was made out of windowline or window glass. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, I said, "Excuse me, mate. Where's your trainers?" And he just said, honestly, he didn't even say, "Oh, yes, mate, they're over there," or "Yes, sir." I don't care if they call me mate. I've got no problem with that. And he pointed me over there. And so I walked over to this wall of trainers. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like chav heaven. Do you know what I mean? and put this way, I've got loads of the trainers that are on that wall. And I'm waiting. No one turns up. No one's like, literally, I'm waiting there, and I stop this. I walk out and I Google running shop. Yeah, turns out in the town near us, I didn't know it, but there's a running shop. I go to this running shop, got my mask on and all this. Walk in, the bloke couldn't have been more friendly. But this is the point I'm making. He asked really specific questions. So he said, "Okay, how long have you been running? Are you right-footed, left-footed?" He got me on a running machine and done this. He asked me, was I running on the road or on soft or on trail? And I sort of explained I got no ideas. But he's asked all these questions, and then he just gave me because he'd asked these questions, the specific trainer that he felt was best for me at my stage of running and where I'm at, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I ended up spending 300 quid in there. Now, compare that to the experience with Sports Direct and compare that with this guy. It's like night and day, and agents can do the same. You imagine if I ring you up, if I ring up your agency and I'm having a chat and you just go, "Oh, what you got?" "I've got a house to sell." "Okay." "Oh, property to sell." Some agents will just go, "Yeah, okay, what is it?" Blah, 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 blah. But they don't ask my personal circumstance. "Oh, why are you selling?" "Oh, okay, you're selling due to downsizing." "Well, actually, before we end this call, if you give me your email address, I'll send you over this guide, or you direct them to your website." Do you see what I mean? You make them feel a bit special, and they come off the phone like I walked out that sports. By the way, in the running shop, I spent 300 quid. So I bought a pair of trainers, I bought a pair of shorts that now I might take back because they look like bloody Kevin Keegan shorts in the 70s. They're so short, they're ridiculous. I don't think I can wear them. But these guys, or any way of agents to make people feel special, And that's the thing. Make them feel something. Like, and the running club made me feel special because he listened to me. I think it's human nature. I really do.
I do, but it's so important, isn't it, in our industry? Is the estate agent itself, the business can be as good as it is, but at the end of the day, people are dealing with people, and if they're going to show a little bit of a care and attention and interest in that person, then it's going to make a huge difference. So I think you're totally right, and I think your guides are a great way to do that. What you mentioned, because just to make it clear, you've got guides there for pretty much every situation, haven't you? Now
we're up to, we've got 9 published, and we're going to be hitting 12, 15 by this time, 2 months time. So it is pretty much any scenario. Not any scenario, because somebody say, well, what if I won the lottery and I was going to buy $1 million? Well, if you were going to win the lottery, good luck to you, but you ain't. You got more chance of seeing Elvis on Shergar. Forget about it. Do you know what I mean? But we've got it. We've got a lot of it covered. But it doesn't have to be.
I think.
Sorry, mate, you broke up there.
So I think it's mine. No, I was going to say, like you say, just small things. Just it's those marginal differences, isn't it? It's like in sport, there's just little differences where you make that process just a little bit different to the other agent. And if you can ask a few more questions, relate to that person, and perhaps have a few things where they think, oh, that other agent didn't do that,
I'll give you a great example of that, right? And I totally agree with you about it. The marginal gain things are often so quick to implement, but you need to implement them. It's like I said to a couple of the members, have you ever sent a thank you card or a good luck card to someone you've lost the instruction? Do you know, like, so you've gone out to see Mrs. Smith, but she said, sorry, I'm going with another estate agent. Have you ever just sent her a thank you card? Oh, Mrs. Smith, thanks for the opportunity. We hope your sale goes well, but if it doesn't, you know where we are.
Yeah.
I mean, that, I think, I know a few of the members do it and say they get a good response. One in particular told me that the woman rang up and said, now I've got like buyer's remorse, like instructor's remorse. Because you just want to, I think with something like that, it's a small thing, but I think it can have a big impact. I know what I'm like when I get cards. I got a card off, Stephen Brown's brilliant at doing it, sending you handwritten cards. He's like really, really good at that. Sam Hunter sent me something through the post, and you just think, I really felt good about this. And again, it's how he made me feel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I suppose even in Facebook, your Facebook posts, they're going to make people feel something. Yeah. So, like you said at the start of the show, make them feel something positive and sort of uplifting, optimistic. Talking of optimism, Euros, talk to me.
I think it's going to be very frustrating.
Why?
I see England. He said Arsenal then. I see England being great at attacking and then letting goals in, and I think that's going to be very frustrating for an England fan. So I might be totally wrong. I hope I am, but I think it's going to go down that way.
Talking of great estate agency marketing, I saw, Peter Lawrence Rand in London, sort of like Ruislip way. He done a wall chart, and it's like if you're like me, I'm going to try and watch all the games as much as I can. I just love it. I sit there and I pretend to be Ukrainian for getting the spirit of things. And he done a wall chart with a subtle bit of branding for his brand, and he's handing them out around his local area, sort of thing. And that's getting stuck up on the wall. I'd imagine it's pretty easy to put together. You put your logo on it, and Bob's your uncle. I mean, I just wish I'd have had that idea a couple of weeks ago, because I'd have got our designer on the case for our members. Honestly, just say do a Canva template of it.
World Cup next.
The next time. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. And it'll just take our mind off lockdown and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and it's nice that most of the games are at home as well, because that's very unusual. So
it's going to be, and I mean that may even give England a little bit of an advantage, because there will be, I think, 20,000 at Wembley.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few. I think by the end they're hoping for more, aren't they? So
yeah,
we'll wait and see what happens.
I want to give a shout out to JP because obviously he's sick and he never gets sick. So that shows you how sick he is because he never gets ill. He's made that very clear when he sent in his sick note. That he never gets ill, the irony. But he's got something coming up that I think is going to be really interesting. You know, his boot camp about systems and processes and this sort of stuff. And I've been working with him a bit more on that side of the things for our business. And I think that'll be a good... hopefully we can get him on before he does it. But I think that's well worth checking out. Well worth checking out.
If we can get him on.
If we can get him on, yeah. He may well be sick again. But let's hope not. But we've hit that half-hour mark, Paul. So I don't know whether you got anything you want to add or anything like that. Or I know there's a comment. Who's made a comment? Where's JP? Somebody said we've sacked him. JP45. That's what his name would be now.
I reckon that is John. I reckon John's making out. He's got fans.
Yeah. And then the next one will come down. It's so much better with John. Oh, where's John? You know, like all these different Facebook users and that sort of stuff. But no, I think it'd be interesting. And I think as well, right, just if for a content point of view, just talking about the football, I think agents need to, obviously not everyone's into football, but there's clever marketing to be had because you can appeal to the football fans with certain marketing like Peter's done with the wall chart. But then you often see some of the bigger, smarter brands, they'll do anti-football ones. So, you know, like instead, in case you don't want to watch Macedonia versus, I don't know, Serbia at 8 o'clock this evening, we'll be uploading our latest blog post then. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. There's clever stuff that can be done around that. Yeah. Right then. So if that's everything, is that everything?
We're all done. I think we covered everything there.
Yeah, that's a wrap. And we might even have to get him back because the numbers look really high. We've got loads of viewers, thousands.
Save on the money.
Yeah. But Paul, always a pleasure. And I'll see you later, mate.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.